A quiet hospital night. A faint glow from emergency lights. Sterile walls creating an atmosphere of medical staff working in stillness. Night shift chatted softly, as occasional footsteps echoing through empty corridors. Tonight seemed dull until the automatic doors at the main entrance opened slowly. Everyone thought it was a patient entering, but a German shepherd. Coat was matted with dry mud, its deep eyes reflecting both. Max was exhausted and determined. Former service dog retired. Distinction in police force. Max moved cautiously but purposefully, carrying a small item in jaws. Bundle carefully wrapped in old cloth. The nurses looked stunned. Many hesitated, but eventually stepped. Curiosity over fear as the gently unwrapped bundle felt like, though all air was gone, a tiny frail baby inside the room, struggling to breathe, pale skin, its chest rising and falling irregularly. "Oh my God, a baby." The nurse gasped, trembling. Shock, sudden stillness. Night broke as the ER nurses and doctors acted, went into action quickly. Halls echo with footsteps. The equipment was ready quickly. Medical staff fought to stabilize. Fragile baby ticking away each second. Like an urgent countdown, nobody in the emergency room could believe it. A dog had entered the hospital carrying a baby on the brink of death. Max silence. Calm, without fear or anxiety. Distress, but his eyes were filled. Desperate request for help. Doctors and nurses are experienced. Countless emergencies had never seen this before. Before checking his breathing at heart rate, one doctor advised. Activating everyone. A nurse kneeled beside the bundle, shaking as she carefully unwrapped. The baby's skin was freezing. Touch his dirt-covered tiny body, and his breathing was weak. Irregular. This child is severely dehydrated and malnourished. Lead. Doctor said gravely. We need IV. Must stabilize respiration. Heart monitor immediately emitted. Slow, weak beeping indication. How important a nurse was. Quickly hooked up the baby to oxygen supply, carefully adjusting flow. Everyone worked quietly to reduce tension, thick as they run to save baby's life. As medical team, one nurse focused on the baby, could not stop looking at Max. The German shepherd stayed. Entrance rigidly staring. Child expecting a miracle. Did not bark or growl, only watched. His intelligent eyes. This is almost human urgency. Odd how he knew to bring the nurse whispered under her breath, her face odd and uncertainty. No one had an answer. Knew Max had pretended this was his main objective. Life. The doctors worked hard. The nurse adjusted the baby's oxygen. Another checked his body. Weak temperature, but vitals starting to stabilize. Someone quietly reported room tension gently improved as the baby's condition began to improve slightly. Everyone knew it was just the start. Child remains critical. Max gave him a fighting chance. Max was exhausted but never took. He looked away from the baby. The room fell. Brief, profound silence as the medical staff understood the extraordinary news of the recent event. Bizarre incident spread quickly throughout the hospital in minutes. The police were contacted. Their lead support, Officer Daniels, a detective, arrived with his team, entered the emergency room. Nurses told the surreal story. Their shocked faces. We have no idea where the dog came from. The head nurse explained, her trembling voice. Slightly, he placed the baby. He stood still on the floor. We know nothing else. Officer Daniels narrowed his eyes at Max. Near the entrance, a dog carried a baby. Hospital's hard to believe, he mumbled, although his face softened. He saw Max's calm, watchful gaze. Has anyone searched for a Chip? Daniels asked the young officer. Appear with a scanner. Cautiously approached Max as Max withdrew when he got too close. Tense but not aggressive. Eyes were vigilant, as if warning them not to approach this. Dog's trained. Young officer said he may be a retired dog. Daniels nodded and approached. He moved slowly and calmly. Easy, buddy, he said. Max looked at him softly. Before the officer clips a get his collar leash and see where he goes. Daniels ordered, signaling to follow his team. Max walked, his steps deliberate and steady, though he knew his location. Going, the officers closely followed. Flashing patrol car lights, casting long pavement shadows. They navigated city streets in silence, increasing with each passing block. Where's it taking us? Officer mumbled. Finally, Ma stopped in a rundown house in a lonely area. Town the front door, Jared. Daniels said someone left quickly. Frown said quietly, this is it. Officers glanced wistfully before, cautiously approaching the entrance. Moldy air and rotting food hit them as they entered. Max led them through a messy room and toward the back small door. Daniels ordered the house sharp. He spoke tensely when they opened. The door revealed a dim space. One corner had a dusty old. Around the cot were scattered signs of recent dog food bowl emptiness, a worn blanket and some kids. Items on the floor. Max slowly visited the cot and sniffed where the baby was once. An officer whispered, his face hardening as he surveyed the scene. Max, exhausted, collapsed beside his limp body in the cot. He was resting for the first time. His mission was finished. Officers searched further. Abandoned house, their torch beams cutting dust layers in. The wooden floor groaned everywhere under their boots with each cautious step. Every house part spoke. Chairs neglected for long periods. Overturned cabinets were empty. Dining table was covered in crumpled papers. Suggests who lived here. Left quickly, one officer said, flipping through scattered documents on the table, while another officer discovered a full kitchen sink of dirty dishes and a hint of rotting food hung in the air. Countertop, crumpled envelope caught. He picked it up and opened it. Found a handwritten letter inside. It was shaky like writing. Under extreme stress, a letter. He announced, then read, no longer have the strength to care for him. Everything around me crumbling. I only have Max, and I trust him to act right. That someone will forgive me someday. Voice faded as final words, echoing the letter wasn't signed, but its message was painfully obvious. Author reached a breaking point. Desperation, giving their child to their only companion left. Loyal dog Max watches over baby. One officer the whole time said, looking at the German Shepherd. Max lay beside the cot, unmoving despite twitching ears, slightly aware of his surroundings. Find a mother, officer. Daniels demanded. Enough evidence of her seriousness. Trouble. Officers canvassed the few neighbors still live there. Area. After some time, found in the old man remembered. House occupant. I remember the young woman who lived here, he said, leaning on his cane. She was always there. A big dog must be him, right? Nodded at Max. I think she was struggling. I saw her with a baby months earlier. Return, but she just disappearing. The story was changing. Clearer. The woman was overwhelmed. Hard times and despair. She trusted Max the dog. Had defended her family until the end. Hints from the letter and police expanded neighbor account. Their search after several hours. Report about a young woman wandering exhaustedly at nearby park when the team arrived. Found her motionless on a bench, holding her tightly to cold, her eyes vacant, her face gaunt, and her messy hair. Officer Daniels approached carefully, maintaining serious but calm. He chose words carefully. We found a hospitalized child. Dog led us to an abandoned house nearby. Do you know about this? We need to protect child. At the woman's eyes mentioned child, open in shock and hope. Noah, is her son alive? She stammered, trembling as tears fell. Face, she touched her mouth, shaking emotionally. Daniels glanced at his teammates, recognizing their discovery. Right person, he nodded gently. Assured her Noah is found, receiving treatment at hospital, stable, but under observation. Observation, Rachel cried. After days of despair, she heard hope from medical staff. Quickly stretchered her, assess her health on the way back. In the hospital, Rachel told her story. Nola's dad left us. She said, her voice after birth. I tried to hold on in pain. Everything broke. We ran out of food. Without money, I couldn't continue. Rachel paused, eyes distant, relieved. Darkness. Memories. Max never left us. Left my side. Noah's when I was too weak to continue. Asked Max to take Noah. Safe silence filled the ambulance as officers and medics. Staff took her words seriously. A dog leading a child to the hospital seemed impossible, but Max had done that when the ambulance arrived. Rachel arrived at hospital, accompanied to the PICU. She approached the door with a racing heart. Despite fatigue, Max stood and, walking beside her, his gaze steady. Rachel watched her in the room. Son on a small bed surrounded by medical equipment. His breathing was steady and his skin looked less Deathly pale tears filled her eyes. She gently touched his tiny body. "Face Noah, my baby," she whispered. Max stood, emotional voice cracking, silently monitoring the doorway. Rachel watched them calmly, turned to him in gratitude. "Max, you saved my son. My family," she whispered, shaking with emotion. The doctors, officers stood silently moved by. Profound moment ahead. Max was a special dog, silent hero who protected, completed his mission without fail. Rachel could love and be loyal, stay with Noah as doctors worked to monitor his health. After several hours, Noah showed clear signs of. He began to recover despite his weakness, respond faintly to his mother's familiar voice. Rachel gently held his tiny hand. Her eyes sparkled with love and hope. Max lay motionless near the door, weary, but his ears alert doctors, nurses who witnessed everything. Story couldn't conceal their admiration. "Faithful dog," one nurse smiled, petted Max's head, whispering, "This makes you a hero." "Little boy lives." Max wagged tail. He seemed to comprehend the loving praise. Rachel looked at Max. "Max, your rescue is much appreciated. I'll never forget your act," she softly, her voice trembling. Emotion after a few treatment days. Doctors said Noah was out, critical and steady, improving due to dedicated care of medical staff. The boy was slowly regaining strength while socializing. Hospital staff intervened, helped Rachel find temporary housing, get crucial support on day. Rachel's release was bright. Sunny morning, she held Noah. Her face shows fatigue and hope returned as she crossed the hospital doors. Sunlight illuminated her son. Face Noah opened his eyes wide, curiously watching his mother before, gently smiling at her. Her first in days. Max. He walked beside them poised, but alert like he had a job. "Protect them." Rachel stopped bending down, stroked Max's head and told Max, "We made it thanks to you." Starting over news is possible. Their emotional tale spread throughout the area. Rachel moved in with strangers, presented Noah with small gifts. Some offered clothes, food, and toys. Job opportunities to Rachel eager assist her in her initial recovery. Days in their new home were hard. With kind neighbors' help, Max's unwavering loyalty, Rachel knew she no longer faced everything alone. She watched Noah crawl across the floor, his lively eyes. "I wonder we survived, Max," she said. Max gently stroked the dog's head. His calm, wise eyes watched her. If he understood Max's story, not just miraculous survival, demonstrated love and loyalty, crossed all boundaries. Rachel Noah. Max's emotional journey ends. A hopeful start, but deeper lessons from story. Loyalty, love, and sacrifice can forever alter a family's fate. This story inspired you. We'd love to hear your opinions. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your thoughts on Max's amazing bravery and family's journey. Please like if you survived and hope. You want to spread this positive message to more people, and remember, subscribe to and enable the channel notifications to avoid missing more. This story inspires us. Glad to have you on board. Growing group of people who value. Grateful for meaningful stories. Watching, and see you later.